Hello, fishy folks. So, I've decided I have some time and I'm going to treat with levamisole. The treatment is a 1/4 teaspoon per 100 gallons. So, just to give that perspective, a 1/4 teaspoon per 100 gallons. My system is roughly 500 gallons, so I'm going to do a teaspoon and a 1/4. I've been told that, as long as you don't way overdose, it's really not a problem for the fish. Greg Sage from Select Aquatics is where I got this levamisole. The recommended dose, like I said, is a 1/4 teaspoon per 100 gallons. And he said, do a 30% water change, which I'm doing now. I'm right here, but my system is automatically draining water. And he said, dissolve the levamisole in water, pour it into the tank. So I'm going to dissolve the levamisole in water, which is right here, and then pour it into my sump and let it circulate. So after I mix it up, I will be back. Well, I got so excited I was adding levamisole, I just added it. I didn't film it. Oh well. Let's pretend. Look, this is a jar in my hand. Pour, pour, pour. That's all that happened. So, Greg said to treat with levamisole, and then in that dosage, and then the next day do a 30% water change and retreat. So that's what I'm going to do. For these tanks, this is 15 and 30, so 45, and I have another 10 over there with fish in it, so 55, so 60 gallons. What I'll do is I'll take a 1/4 teaspoon and I guess break it up into, what he said to do is take a 1/4 teaspoon, break it up into 10 individual portions, and use that, for 10-gallon tanks or 2 for 20-gallon tanks. Yeah, that's gonna take some good eyes, some good light, and some forethought, right? So I guess I could take a 1/4 teaspoon, make one pile slightly bigger than the other. That would be 60%. The other one would be 40%. And use that to treat that tank, which is 10 gallons, and those two, 30 breeder and a 15. I think that's what I'll do. But not right now, because I have to go to work. Sump's just about full. Pump is running. Shut the water off. So the water's off. Pump is running. Water is flowing. See water dripping. Water starting to drip as it reaches the overflows. Alright. I've been thinking more about the system, and I think I can probably separate the middle row of tanks. Well, I gotta do it all at once, I think. Anyway, that's for another time. So I leave you with this parting message. Have a great day. Well, I couldn't help myself. Went to my local fish store to buy some food. I picked up some frozen bloodworms. I picked up some cyclops and some northern krill. And somebody had surrendered these 3 ginormous guppy females and 4 swordtails, 1 male, 3 females. And I don't typically buy guppies from my local fish store because they all come from international breeders that grow them in salt water, and then they don't do well for me. So when I saw these, and the young lad that works there named Colin said to me, yeah, somebody turned those in. They were in a 55-gallon community tank. And I said, freshwater? And he said, yes, I had to have them. And you know, because they're rescues, I think my local fish store charged me $5 for 7 fish. That's not bad, especially when I'll sell the babies for the guppies back to them for the same price. So anyway, that's something new in the fish room. I just got home from work. I'm going to acclimate these fish. I'm going to feed the fish, feed the guppy babies, not the guppy babies, the angel babies. And I got to be honest, guys, the voting looks like it's going to be Solo. I may have to call him Ham, but Solo. So, all right. I'll be back with an update later. Probably tomorrow when I do my second dose of levamisole. As a matter of fact, let's just look at the tanks real quick. Everybody's looking good and healthy. Ooh, lots of poop there. Yep. So tomorrow we'll do a 30% water change in the morning and add the second dose of levamisole, and then that should be that. All right, guys. See ya. Well, checking on the tanks, and there's the lone fry. I don't know if she dropped more and they were eaten, or she just dropped the one, but that's a fry I saw a couple days ago. I think I mentioned in a video. I was moving some stuff around and I saw one fry. Well, there it is. Very strange. One fry compared to what looks like thousands, but maybe there's 100 fish in here. I don't know. I bet if I move that guppy grass, there's not guppy grass, that moss, there's 50 fry in there. Also, last night I think somebody in here dropped some fry, because there's all kinds of tiny ones back in the back. Look by the filter over there. They look pretty new. Alright, that's the update for today. Did somebody... Those might be new too. Nah, those are too big to be new. They're a week old or so. She does not look too good. Well, she's swimming, but the other one's in here somewhere. Alright, see ya. Well, I've gone through the acclimation process. I've added my quarantine meds, Erythromycin from API General Cure, and Ick X from Aquarium Solutions, which is Akari's brand. And the water's blue from the Ick X. Fish look okay. I would, if I was a betting man, I would say one of those female guppies will drop fry tonight or tomorrow, perhaps. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. They're going to be in here for a while, I think, longer than the normal week. Unfortunately, that filter probably isn't cycled, and I can't change water in here for about a week, so I'm going to have to check the parameters and see. If I do have to change water, I'll just reapply the... either I'll reapply the... what am I trying to say? Either I will reapply the meds, or I will... Actually, I have 2 tanks upstairs. Maybe I'll squeeze some filter gunk out of that into this tank. That's probably what I'll end up doing, so... These guys ate. Everybody's good. Talk to you guys later. Well, I come downstairs to do a water change and add the second dose of levamisole, and what do I find? A very pregnant neon swordtail on the ground. Why, you ask? Apparently, I didn't put the lid back. So apparently this neon swordtail jumped from there to her death. Rip neon swordtail female. I can't catch a break. I just can't catch a break with this thing. Alright, fishy folks. Working on the new drip system planning stage. So here's what we have so far. I'm going to use my existing plumbing that I have for the tanks over here. I'm just going to use the ball valves to control the flow, much like they control the flow now. This is going to become the drain. I'm going to put a a float switch on it so that continuous water will not be flowing into the tanks. At a certain time, I will turn the system on automatically with a timer. It will start adding water to the tanks. Then the tanks will overflow into this drain, all of them. So like I have to extend this back down to here. You can see this one's already draining into the drain. It'll drain into that sump, which won't be a sump anymore. It'll just be a place where the water collects. And when it gets to a certain height, that pump, or a pump, I'm not sure if it's that pump or what, will turn on and pump the water through my existing plumbing, either outside to barrels or down the drain, depending on what time of year it is. So the drain system is fairly straightforward and pretty much completed. Not pretty much, but I would say about 80% there. Now my fill, I have plumbing, this pipe right here that runs from the sink. So what I'm thinking of doing is putting a T right there, running a pipe this way, and moving this table and my eventual show tank, and putting a tote here. I don't know if a tote will fit. I may have to move some stuff. The problem with the tote is I'll probably have to cut it to get it down the basement stairs, but they're cheap. It's a lot of water, you know, that I could hold. In addition, the good news is there's no chloramines in my water. There's only chlorine, which you can gas off in 24 to 48 hours. And there isn't a lot of chlorine either. I forgot what the amount is, but it was fairly low. So I could pump the water. I could manually fill my reservoir if it's 275 gallons, and then have a timer to turn on the auto water change system. So I would need a timer and another pump, and then I just have to figure out how to get the water into the system. I'm thinking about teeing in right there, but that is some precise cutting I would need to make sure everything's the same height. Because if I move that up, that moves this up, which will move the bottom fill lines up, because they're all connected. So I'm thinking of maybe teeing in right there, but then I'm not sure how that's going to affect the equilibrium of the system. Also, if I tee in right over a pipe that goes vertically down, will most of the water go down and not go to the sides to fill the top tanks? These are all things I'm going to have to play with. So that's where I'm at right now with the new system. A lot of things to think about. Probably going to do some work over Thanksgiving break and complete it over Christmas break. That would be my thought. Although I might be too busy and all the additional funds are going to go to Christmas presents, so we'll see. But I travel next week, and then I'm back for a week, and then I travel for 2 weeks, so nothing's going to happen until at least the middle of November at the earliest, other than planning and perhaps looking at yard sales and flea markets for parts. So I can get a tote, a 275 gallon tote for like $75 if I travel, $100 if it's close. But I think I would have to cut it to get it down my basement stairs, to get it through the doorway. I have to measure how wide that doorway is, which isn't a problem. You can cut them, you know, a couple inches off, no problem. So instead of 275 gallons, let's say it holds 225 gallons to be safe. That's still quite a lot of water. At first, I would probably set that up with a manual fill for the tote, and then eventually set it to autofill. I would need another float and a pump, not a pump, and a timer, but lots of things to think about, lots of things to design. If I had to do the room all over again, I definitely would have designed it with all the tanks separately. But I was warned you could have a problem, and unfortunately I did have a problem, and now I have to change. So alright guys, I'll be back. Well, Friday afternoon after work, the wife is working tonight. I brought home a pizza. It's in the oven waiting for her to finish getting ready. Then she's gonna eat. I'm gonna take her to work and then go to a friend's house with my boys to hang out, friend from work. The reason I'm showing you these tanks is I cleaned them. Cleaned the glass. So So I took my handy dandy glass and more, no streaking, sprayed it right on there, cleaned it up. No, I'm just kidding. I did not do that. I just used paper towel and I sprayed that on a paper towel, obviously away from the tanks. And that's that. So I cleaned the top tanks. They look much, much better. I even cleaned this one. Let me get this off. That's probably Sharpie. Can't get it off. You know the best way to get Sharpie off is a dry erase marker, believe it or not. Yep. So that's the fish. That's the update for now. Really nothing else. That's that. Made a mess on the floor. Did change some water up here. These tanks are still filling up. Did take some plants out of this one and clean up some mold on the bottom. There's a couple piles of mold. Detritus, if you will, but the problem with cleaning this tank is there's so many fry. I didn't want to suck any up, so I put the siphon in, gave it a squeeze, got as much out as I could until a fry went near it. I don't want to lose any of them, so same thing here. I put all the vegetation in from those two tanks extra in this tank. There's nothing in there. I think this is going to be the Dalmatian mollies. Probably when I get back from my next business trip, which is next week. So that's that. All right, I think that's going to be it. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And actually, this video is probably going to come out on Sunday. I think that was my plan. I'd film all weekend, little clips, little bits there, here and there, and you know, put together that video for Sunday. All right, guys, you have any questions? Let me know. If not, I'll talk to you soon. Hey, fishy folks. Sunday morning, down the fish room feeding, and it's interesting. My angels do not like Northfin krill. It's the only tanks that, all the angels, that's all the krill. Now these guys over here, these angels, they eat anything. Anything I put in there, they eat. But these four tanks over here, this marble pair, that's all from last night. This silver pair, back there, all from last night. This marble pair, hi guys, could you spawn for me? No, don't spawn, I'm going away for a week, don't spawn. Left everything there. And these three platinums in here also left food. No other tanks is there food left. Especially these guys. Oh, and this happened. What doesn't belong in this tank? I'll give you a hint. Should be in that tank. I'm guessing it jumped. He jumped. I'm guessing he jumped. So I gotta move him back and finish feeding the fish and then go on my day. Alright guys, have a great day, have a great week. Hope everyone enjoys fish keeping.